Hello, friends. Are you ready to dive deep into the world of Terminator 2, Judgment Day? Released on July 3, 1991, this film has sparked endless conversations, and today, we're bringing you every thrilling detail. If you love what you see, give this video a like, it really helps us grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting movie explorations and hidden gems. Let's jump in and unravel the magic together. Terminator 2, Judgment Day arrived in theaters on July 3, 1991, ushering in a new era of science fiction cinema that would captivate audiences worldwide and redefine what a blockbuster action film could be. It wasn't just another sequel, it was a cinematic event that combined heart-pounding thrills with groundbreaking visual effects and a story rich in emotional depth and philosophical questions. What made this movie unique and worth exploring is the way it masterfully blended intense action with a surprisingly human story about fate, family, and the possibility of change. It raised the stakes far beyond its predecessor, introducing audiences to a relentless chase filled with dazzling stunts, revolutionary CGI, and unforgettable performances that still resonate decades later. At its core, Terminator 2 tells a story about survival and hope against seemingly insurmountable odds. The narrative picks up years after the original film, with Sarah Connor and her young son John living under the shadow of a future apocalypse where machines wage war against humanity. The film's tension builds as two Terminators arrive in the present. One, a nearly indestructible new model sent to kill John Connor and prevent him from leading the human resistance, and the other, a reprogrammed protector sent to keep him alive. This duality creates a compelling dynamic that propels the story forward with both suspense and surprising emotional warmth. The movie keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, blending relentless action sequences with moments of vulnerability and growth, especially in the evolving relationship between John and the Protector Terminator. What sets Terminator 2 apart are the standout elements that make it not only a thrilling experience but a landmark in cinematic storytelling. The twists throughout the film keep audiences guessing, but it's the performances that anchor the spectacle. Arnold Schwarzenegger returns with a nuanced portrayal of the Terminator, now a guardian rather than a villain, showcasing a surprising depth beneath the iconic stoicism. Linda Hamilton's transformation into a fierce, battle-hardened Sarah Connor adds grit and emotional weight to the story, while Edward Furlong's portrayal of young John Connor brings a genuine innocence and determination that grounds the sci-fi chaos in relatable humanity. These performances, combined with James Cameron's visionary direction and the revolutionary special effects, particularly the liquid metal T-1000, created moments that have become etched into film history. The movie's visual language was a revelation at the time, pushing the boundaries of what CGI could achieve and blending it seamlessly with practical effects to deliver jaw-dropping action sequences. Scenes like the motorcycle chase through the Los Angeles freeway and the final showdown at the steel mill remain iconic examples of how innovative filmmaking techniques can elevate a story beyond the screen. These visuals were not merely spectacle but essential parts of the narrative, symbolizing the unstoppable force of the machines versus the resilience of human spirit. Terminator 2 captured attention because it was more than just an action movie. It was a profound meditation on technology, destiny, and what it means to be human. Its exploration of whether the future is fixed or can be changed resonates with viewers on multiple levels, inviting them to reflect on their own choices and the power of hope in the face of adversity. This blend of thrilling entertainment with deeper themes made Terminator 2 a film that rewards both casual viewers and those who want to delve into its layers. It is a movie that stands the test of time, continuing to inspire filmmakers and audiences alike. Diving into the details of Terminator 2 offers a rich experience, from the intricate character arcs and symbolic motifs to the groundbreaking filmmaking that set new standards for the industry. Whether it's the quiet moments where Sarah Connor confronts her fears or the explosive action that keeps the heart racing, every frame is crafted with purpose and passion. This seamless combination of narrative, performance, and technical innovation is why Terminator 2, Judgment Day remains an essential film to explore and celebrate decades after its release. Terminator 2, Judgment Day opens with a stark reminder of the grim future awaiting humanity. A nuclear war waged by machines has ravaged the Earth, setting a somber tone that lingers beneath the film's adrenaline-fueled action. From this bleak prologue, the story fast-forwards to the early 1990s, where the echoes of that future begin to infiltrate the present. Sarah Connor, once an ordinary waitress, has transformed into a fiercely determined warrior, her life irrevocably shaped by the knowledge of the coming apocalypse. She's been confined to a mental institution, branded as unstable, but her warnings about Judgment Day, when machines will rise and destroy humanity, are more urgent than ever. Her fear is palpable. She knows the stakes and refuses to be silenced, setting up a conflict between her desperation to protect her son and a society that doubts her. Meanwhile, young John Connor is living a more typical teenage life, unaware at first of his destiny as the future leader of the human resistance. We meet him as a street-smart kid navigating foster homes, wrestling with feelings of abandonment and confusion. His rebellious nature hints at the weight he carries unknowingly. When the movie introduces the two Terminators arriving from the future, the tension escalates instantly. The first, a liquid metal T-1000, is a chilling force of nature, sleek, nearly invincible, and merciless in its mission to eliminate John. Its ability to morph and regenerate sets it apart as an unprecedented threat, signaling a new level of danger beyond what anyone has seen before. In stark contrast, the other Terminator sent to protect John is the familiar figure of Arnold Schwarzenegger's iconic character, now reprogrammed and tasked with guarding the boy's life. The dynamic between the cold, methodical protector and the relentless assassin sets the stage for a high-stakes cat-and-mouse game, but it's also infused with unexpected warmth. Early scenes reveal the Terminator's gradual learning curve as it begins to understand human emotions and relationships, especially through its interactions with John. This blend of relentless machine efficiency and emerging empathy adds layers to the story, making the Terminator not just a guardian but a symbol of hope. Sarah's release from the institution brings another layer of complexity to the narrative. She's armed with knowledge and a fierce resolve but carries the burden of trauma and isolation. Her reunion with John is emotional yet tinged with tension, as they both grapple with their roles in the unfolding war against the machines. Sarah's unwavering determination to prepare for Judgment Day is tempered by her vulnerability, making her a compelling figure caught between fear and fierce love. Her interactions with the Terminator reveal her growth. Once terrified of the machine that nearly killed her, she now sees it as an ally, highlighting the film's theme of change and redemption. The early sequences pulse with a mix of suspense and action as the characters band together to confront the imminent threat. They embark on a desperate mission to prevent the rise of Skynet, the sentient computer system destined to bring about humanity's downfall. The discovery of Miles Dyson, a brilliant scientist unknowingly building the foundation for Skynet, injects urgency and moral complexity into the story. His character adds a human face to the technological nightmare, and his eventual transformation from oblivious inventor to active participant in the fight against the machines underscores the film's nuanced approach to fate and responsibility. Throughout the first half, the tension builds steadily as the T-1000 relentlessly pursues John, manifesting as a shape-shifting, unstoppable force that turns even mundane settings into arenas of danger. The film's pacing expertly balances quiet, character-driven moments with explosive action sequences, creating a rhythm that keeps viewers engaged and emotionally invested. Key scenes like the thrilling highway chase not only showcase jaw-dropping stunt work but also emphasize the character's desperation and determination. Each close call heightens the stakes, foreshadowing the even greater challenges ahead. What stands out in this portion of the film is how the narrative weaves together themes of humanity, technology, and destiny without sacrificing momentum. The evolving relationships, particularly between John and the Terminator, add heart to the relentless action, reminding viewers what's truly at stake: the survival of not just a boy but the future of humankind. Subtle hints peppered throughout hint at deeper twists to come, such as Sarah's haunted memories and the growing complexity of the machine's programming, teasing a story that's as much about transformation as it is about destruction. As the first half concludes, the characters are poised on the edge of a battle that will test their strength, resolve, and beliefs. The foundations of trust and hope they build amid chaos prepare the audience for a gripping continuation, where the lines between human and machine, predator and protector, will blur even further. This immersive beginning not only hooks the viewer with its relentless pace and suspense but invites them to reflect on the enduring question the film poses: can the future be changed, or is fate an unbreakable chain? As the story moves into its second half, the tension that has been steadily mounting finally bursts into a series of pivotal moments that shape not only the fate of the characters but the very future of humanity itself. After the relentless pursuit and narrow escapes that dominated the earlier scenes, the focus shifts to a desperate plan, one that requires courage, sacrifice, and the will to challenge what seems inevitable. Sarah Connor, John, and the reprogrammed Terminator find themselves united in purpose, their bonds growing stronger amid the chaos. This new alliance propels them toward a high-stakes mission: to prevent the creation of Skynet, the malevolent artificial intelligence destined to trigger Judgment Day. The turning point comes with their decision to confront Miles Dyson, the brilliant scientist whose research is the unwitting catalyst for Skynet's rise. This moment in the film is charged with complexity, as Dyson's character undergoes a profound transformation. Initially an idealistic inventor eager to push the boundaries of technology, he becomes a reluctant ally, haunted by the potential consequences of his work. His willingness to join the Connors and the Terminator in destroying his own lab highlights one of the film's most compelling themes: the tension between human progress and its unintended dangers. The scenes that follow in the high-tech facility combine thrilling action with a palpable sense of moral urgency, as the team races against time to dismantle the very future they fear. Just as the hope of stopping Judgment Day flickers, the T-1000 returns with relentless force, intensifying the stakes. Its ability to shape-shift and regenerate makes it an almost unstoppable adversary, leading to some of the film's most intense and innovative sequences. The chase culminates in a nail-biting showdown at a steel mill, an environment that perfectly symbolizes the industrial might of the machines against the raw humanity of the protagonists. Here, the action reaches a fever pitch, blending practical effects and groundbreaking CGI in a seamless dance of destruction and determination. The battle is more than physical, it's a clash of ideologies, a fight for the very essence of what it means to be alive. Throughout this climax, the emotional weight of the characters' journeys comes to the forefront. Sarah's fierce protectiveness and hardened resolve are met with moments of vulnerability, especially as she confronts her fears about losing her son. John's growth from a wary teenager to a courageous leader shines in his interactions with the Terminator, whose evolving understanding of humanity is both touching and profound. The machine's final acts of sacrifice echo the film's core message about choice and change, reinforcing that even the most unlikely beings can embody hope and compassion. The resolution of the story ties together the threads of destiny and free will that have been woven throughout. After a harrowing struggle, the team succeeds in destroying Dyson's lab, seemingly averting the apocalypse. Yet the film refuses to offer a simplistic victory. Instead, it leaves viewers with a bittersweet sense of triumph tempered by uncertainty. The destruction of the future's foundation comes at a cost, and the characters' sacrifices underscore the film's meditation on the price of survival and the power of hope. The final scenes, where the Terminator chooses to erase itself to prevent any further threat, provide a poignant farewell that resonates emotionally, symbolizing the end of one chapter and the fragile beginning of another. What makes this second half so compelling is how it balances explosive action with deeply human moments. The filmmakers expertly build suspense while allowing the characters' internal struggles to shine through, creating a narrative that is both thrilling and emotionally satisfying. Every twist and turn feels earned, with earlier foreshadowing coming to fruition in ways that surprise yet feel inevitable. The themes of redemption, sacrifice, and the possibility of change culminate here, giving the story a richness that elevates it beyond the typical blockbuster. As the credits approach, the film leaves its audience reflecting on the enduring question it has posed: can humanity alter its destiny, or is the future an unchangeable path? Terminator 2's second half answers this with a hopeful yet nuanced perspective, suggesting that while the battle against fate is arduous and fraught with loss, it is one worth fighting. The story closes on a note that feels both conclusive and open-ended, honoring its characters' journeys while inviting viewers to ponder the impact of their own choices. In seamlessly tying together the intense action, the layered character arcs, and the profound thematic undercurrents, the second half of Terminator 2 delivers a cinematic experience that is exhilarating, thought-provoking, and deeply moving. It solidifies the film's place as not just an action masterpiece but a story with heart and soul, one that continues to captivate audiences decades after its release. In the world of Terminator 2, Judgment Day, the characters don't simply fill roles, they breathe life into a story that pulses with urgency, heart, and complexity. At the center is Sarah Connor, whose transformation from a frightened waitress in the first film to a battle-hardened survivor is both compelling and deeply human. Linda Hamilton's portrayal captures this evolution with intensity and nuance. Her Sarah is no longer just a woman running from danger. She embodies fierce determination and unyielding love for her son. The way Hamilton infuses moments of vulnerability beneath Sarah's tough exterior makes her resonate as a character shaped by trauma yet propelled by hope. Sarah's motivations are rooted in a desperate desire to protect John and prevent the apocalyptic future she knows is coming. This drives her relentless preparation and sometimes ruthless decisions, reflecting the psychological toll of her burden. The tension between her protective instincts and the growing need to trust others adds layers to her story arc, making her journey one of both strength and sacrifice. John Connor, played with remarkable depth by Edward Furlong, is the film's emotional core. He is not the typical hero. He's a teenager grappling with abandonment, identity, and the heavy expectations placed upon him. Furlong's performance strikes a perfect balance between youthful rebellion and emerging leadership. His early scenes, marked by a mix of defiance and insecurity, evolve into moments where John begins to understand the gravity of his future role. The relationship between John and the Terminator is especially poignant, unfolding naturally from suspicion to genuine affection. This dynamic adds warmth and humanity to the high-stakes narrative. John's growth is not just about survival, it's about embracing responsibility and hope, making his arc feel authentic and relatable. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator in this installment transcends the archetype of an emotionless killing machine. Reprogrammed to protect John, this Terminator embarks on a subtle but powerful journey of discovery. Schwarzenegger's stoic delivery is masterful, but it's the small, almost imperceptible gestures, like his first attempts at human speech or his curious observation of human behavior, that reveal a machine learning empathy. This nuanced portrayal turns the Terminator into a symbol of redemption and change. His loyalty and ultimate sacrifice elevate the character from a mere tool of destruction to a beacon of hope. The bond he forms with John serves as a heartwarming counterpoint to the film's darker themes, underscoring the idea that even something designed for harm can choose a different path. The T-1000, brought to chilling life by Robert Patrick, is the film's most memorable antagonist and a marvel of both performance and technology. Unlike the original Terminator, this advanced model is fluid and relentless, capable of morphing into almost anything. Patrick's cold, methodical demeanor imbues the T-1000 with an eerie sense of inevitability. His precise movements and unblinking gaze create an unsettling presence that feels both alien and terrifyingly human in its single-minded pursuit. The T-1000's motivations are simple yet horrifying. It exists solely to kill John Connor and ensure the rise of the machines. This relentless purpose, combined with its shape-shifting abilities, makes it a formidable force and a perfect foil to the protective Terminator. The tension between these two machines drives much of the film's suspense, and Patrick's performance ensures the T-1000 remains etched in viewers' memories as one of cinema's great villains. Supporting characters also play vital roles in enriching the story's texture. Miles Dyson, portrayed by Joe Morton, is a fascinating figure caught at the crossroads of invention and destruction. As the creator of the technology that will lead to Skynet, Dyson's journey from oblivious scientist to reluctant hero is a crucial part of the film's moral framework. Morton brings warmth and complexity to the role, making Dyson's eventual decision to help destroy his lab deeply moving. His character humanizes the broader technological threat, reminding viewers that behind every machine lies human ambition and fallibility. Dyson's wife, Tarissa, played by Essa Pather Murkison, adds emotional grounding, embodying the innocent stakes involved in the fight against a seemingly unstoppable future. Other secondary characters, though less central, contribute to the narrative's realism and emotional depth. The foster parents and police officers highlight John's vulnerability and the societal skepticism surrounding Sarah's warnings. These interactions emphasize the isolation and disbelief the Connors face, reinforcing the film's themes of mistrust and sacrifice. Each character, no matter how small, is woven seamlessly into the story, making the world feel lived in and authentic. What unites all these performances is the seamless blend of humanity and spectacle. The actors bring their characters to life not just through dialogue but through expressions, physicality, and subtle shifts in tone. This depth allows the film to explore themes of identity, destiny, and free will without losing sight of the individual stories at its heart. The evolving relationships, whether between Sarah and John and the Terminator, or the clash between the two machines, are what give the film its emotional resonance. They invite the audience to care deeply about the outcome, transforming a sci-fi action blockbuster into a profound meditation on survival and change. In Terminator 2, the characters are not just players in a high-octane thriller, they are reflections of the human condition facing an uncertain future. Their motivations, struggles, and transformations create a rich narrative tapestry that elevates the film beyond its explosive action sequences. Through powerful performances and intricate storytelling, the characters remain etched in the memory long after the final scene fades, reminding us that even in a world dominated by machines, it is human connection and choice that define our destiny. Diving into Terminator 2, Judgment Day reveals a treasure trove of hidden details and Easter eggs that make the film a richer experience for those who pay close attention. It's a movie that not only delivers on its thrilling action and emotional depth but also layers in subtle nods and symbolic elements that reward viewers with a deeper appreciation. With tiny touches that weave an intricate tapestry beneath its surface. One of the most fascinating aspects is how the film pays homage to its predecessor while simultaneously elevating its own story. The opening scenes immediately remind us of the stakes, and the iconic line "I'll be back" returns, but with a new twist. It's now uttered by a protector rather than a predator. This simple shift cleverly subverts expectations, signaling that the familiar is now being reinvented. For eagle-eyed fans, this change encapsulates the entire movie's theme of transformation and redemption. The Terminator himself, once the unstoppable villain, is now the Guardian, and this duality is reflected in subtle ways throughout the film. A subtle but powerful symbol running through Terminator 2 is the image of the motorcycle and leather jacket, which John Connor wears. This isn't just a cool costume choice, it's a visual representation of his rebellious spirit and future leader identity. It echoes classic images of youthful defiance in American culture, nodding to characters like James Dean or the Greasers of the 1950s, suggesting that John is both a kid and a symbol of change in a world on the brink. The jacket's worn look and the bike's raw mechanical edge also tie into the movie's juxtaposition of humanity and machinery, a blend of grit and vulnerability. The film's use of time itself acts as a subtle narrative device, layered with foreshadowing and tension. Clocks and countdowns appear in various forms, like the ticking wristwatch John wears and the recurring shots of digital clocks, underscoring the urgency of their mission to prevent Judgment Day. This motif of time slipping away is never overtly stated but felt throughout, building a subconscious pressure on the audience that mirrors the character's own race against fate. Even the opening scene, where a date is etched into the steel of the future battlefield, serves as a haunting reminder of the stakes looming ahead. Some of the visual effects carry hidden layers of meaning, especially the groundbreaking liquid metal transformations of the T-1000. This villain's ability to morph seamlessly is not just a technical marvel but a metaphor for adaptability and cold, unfeeling change. The smooth, reflective surface of the T-1000 contrasts sharply with the rugged, mechanical Terminator, symbolizing a newer, more insidious kind of threat, one that blends in and evolves. The filmmaker's choice to use mirror-like reflections during key scenes cleverly emphasizes this theme, suggesting the T-1000 is a distorted reflection of humanity, an ever-changing menace lurking beneath familiar surfaces. The lab sequences where Miles Dyson's work is revealed are rich with symbolic detail. The large computer screens displaying early network schematics hint at the dawn of the Internet age, capturing the real-world fears of technological progress spinning out of control in the early 1990s. The film subtly connects these fears with Dyson's personal story, where scientific ambition unwittingly breeds catastrophe. In this way, the film comments on the dual-edged sword of innovation, a theme made even more resonant today. One small but meaningful Easter egg here is the brief glimpse of a desktop calculator displaying the number 101, a subtle nod to Terminator 101, which fans have speculated refers to the Terminator model or a clever inside joke. The choice to have Sarah Connor institutionalized after the events of the first film carries layers beyond plot convenience. Her psychiatric evaluations and the dismissive attitude of the doctors subtly critique societal disbelief in inconvenient truths, reflecting real-world struggles faced by whistleblowers or activists warning of disaster. This setting also deepens Sarah's isolation, enhancing her transformation into a warrior mother who is misunderstood by those around her. The cold, sterile environment of the mental hospital is carefully contrasted with the warmth of her bond with John, underscoring the emotional core amid clinical detachment. One delightful Easter egg appears in the form of the arcade game John plays in the mall, which features classic pinball machines and video games popular in the late 80s and early 90s. This not only grounds the film in its era but subtly mirrors John's youthful innocence and the escapism he craves before being thrust into a dire future. The juxtaposition of such carefree moments with the looming threat of destruction heightens the emotional stakes, reminding viewers of the fragility of childhood amid chaos. The film's famous line, "No fate but what we make," serves as both a narrative anchor and a philosophical thread weaving through the story. It appears repeatedly in different forms, from Sarah's mantra to the final moments of reflection. This line encapsulates the movie's core message about free will versus determinism. In many ways, it's a subtle rebuke of fatalism, urging viewers to consider the power of choice even in the face of overwhelming odds. This phrase also echoes a common motif in literature and mythology about shaping one's destiny, linking Terminator 2 to a broader cultural conversation about agency and hope. Further hidden layers exist in the character design and costume choices. For instance, the police officers' uniforms and badges are detailed down to authentic replicas, signaling the filmmaker's dedication to realism amid sci-fi elements. Even the small props, like the shotgun carried by the Terminator or the reflective sunglasses he wears, carry symbolic weight, representing the merging of human and machine elements. The sunglasses, in particular, have become an iconic visual shorthand for the character's cold, robotic identity, but their mirrored lenses also subtly symbolize the reflection of humanity the Terminator both protects and imitates. Music and sound design contain their own Easter eggs. Composer Brad Fiedel's iconic mechanical score returns but is augmented with more emotional undertones, mirroring the film's shift from pure action to a more character-driven narrative. The sounds of machinery and electronics often blend into the background, almost subliminally reminding viewers of the omnipresent threat of technology. There's even a clever layering of sound in chase sequences where engine roars and metallic clangs blend with heartbeat-like rhythms, intensifying the tension in a way that's felt rather than heard consciously. Lastly, the film's final scenes include a number of poignant visual Easter eggs that might escape a casual viewer but deepen the emotional resonance upon closer inspection. The shot of the Terminator lowering itself into molten steel is not just a dramatic climax but also rich in symbolism, a baptism by fire, a cleansing sacrifice that ends the cycle of violence. The faint reflections seen in the molten metal hint at the faces and memories of the characters, suggesting that while the machine is destroyed, its impact and the human stories persist. This subtle visual storytelling elevates the finale beyond spectacle to a meditation on legacy and loss. Exploring these hidden details and Easter eggs turns Terminator 2, Judgment Day into more than just an action-packed blockbuster. It becomes an immersive puzzle where each element, from costume choices to musical cues, adds depth and meaning. These nuances invite viewers to revisit the film with fresh eyes, uncovering new layers with every watch and appreciating the intricate craftsmanship behind what might otherwise be seen as just another sci-fi thriller. It's this richness that helps Terminator 2 endure as a cinematic masterpiece that rewards curiosity and celebrates storytelling at its finest. When you peel back the layers of Terminator 2, Judgment Day, what emerges is not just a groundbreaking action film but a fascinating tale filled with some of the strangest and most intriguing stories from behind the scenes. The journey from script to screen was anything but straightforward, marked by unique production challenges, unexpected casting twists, and creative decisions that forever changed the landscape of visual effects and storytelling in Hollywood. One of the most captivating stories involves the movie's director, James Cameron, whose passion for pushing the boundaries of filmmaking fueled much of the project's innovation but also brought considerable tension on set. Cameron was notorious for his exacting standards and relentless drive to perfect every scene. This perfectionism often led to long, grueling shooting days that tested the endurance of the cast and crew. For example, the famous hydraulic-powered motorcycle jump, a jaw-dropping stunt that thrills audiences, was filmed multiple times with extensive preparations. At one point, Cameron insisted on redoing it dozens of times to capture every nuance perfectly, even after the stunt performers and camera operators were utterly exhausted. This obsessive attention to detail ultimately paid off but required a level of stamina that few films demand. The film's groundbreaking visual effects are legendary, but getting there was an uphill battle filled with strange technical hurdles. The T-1000's liquid metal effects were a marvel of early CGI, requiring a team of artists and technicians to invent new software and techniques from scratch. What's remarkable is that the initial plans for these effects were so ambitious that the technology simply didn't exist at the time. The team had to experiment with untested rendering methods and hardware that was, by today's standards, laughably primitive. There was a point when the effects team was forced to work overnight, literally programming and tweaking code for hours on end just to get one seamless morphing shot to work. This pioneering effort became a milestone in digital effects but came at the cost of incredible pressure and frustration. Casting for the film also held its own share of unusual tales. Linda Hamilton's intense physical transformation into Sarah Connor was no small feat. Determined to portray Sarah as a formidable warrior, Hamilton embarked on a rigorous fitness regimen that dramatically altered her physique. This dedication was so extreme that at times she struggled to find clothes that fit her new muscular frame, leading to last-minute costume adjustments. Her commitment didn't end with fitness. She worked closely with trainers to master hand-to-hand combat moves and weapons handling, lending authenticity to her performance that resonated with audiences. This transformation was so convincing it became a benchmark for female action heroes going forward. Arnold Schwarzenegger's involvement was equally layered with oddities. Initially, Arnold was wary of returning to the role of the Terminator, concerned that it might typecast him further in action roles. However, Cameron convinced him by presenting a script that offered a fresh take, portraying the Terminator as a protector rather than a relentless killer. During filming, Schwarzenegger's natural charisma and physical presence were balanced by moments of deadpan humor, which brought unexpected depth to the cyborg character. On set, Arnold's enormous stature sometimes caused logistical headaches, particularly when filming tight or confined spaces. One humorous anecdote recalls how the crew had to remove ceiling tiles from the mental institution set just to fit him through doorways, showcasing the practical challenges of working with a star of his size. The relationship between the cast members was dynamic and occasionally fraught with tension, adding another layer to the behind-the-scenes story. Edward Furlong, who played young John Connor, was only a teenager during filming, and working alongside seasoned actors like Hamilton and Schwarzenegger presented challenges. Furlong's natural charm and vulnerability brought authenticity to the role, but his youth sometimes led to clashes with the more disciplined atmosphere fostered by Cameron. Despite this, he developed a close bond with Hamilton, who acted as a mentor both on and off camera. Their chemistry contributed significantly to the emotional heart of the movie, and behind the scenes, Hamilton often looked out for the young actor during the intense production schedule. The production design itself was filled with quirks that highlight the movie's meticulous attention to detail. For instance, The set for the mental hospital where Sarah is held was constructed with such realism that some of the cast members reported feeling genuinely unsettled while filming there. The sterile environment, combined with the claustrophobic hallways and harsh lighting, created an atmosphere that blurred the line between acting and reality. There's a well-known story of how Linda Hamilton, fully immersed in her character's emotional state, reportedly experienced moments of genuine distress during those scenes, underscoring how immersive the experience was for the actors. Another unusual aspect of Terminator 2's production was the collaboration with special effects legend Stan Winston, whose team created some of the most memorable practical effects, including the iconic endoskeleton and the mechanical components of the Terminator. Winston's workshop was a hub of creativity, where practical effects and animatronics came alive alongside cutting-edge CGI. One remarkable story involves the design of the T-1000's police officer form, which required both realistic facial animation and the ability to perform fluid shapeshifting. Winston's team developed advanced prosthetics and used inventive puppetry techniques to blend seamlessly with the digital effects, a fusion that was revolutionary at the time. This hybrid approach was unusual then and remains a testament to the ingenuity behind the film. Despite the film's massive success, there were controversies and rumors that swirled around its release. Some critics initially expressed concern about the film's violent content, especially given its PG-13 rating, questioning whether it was appropriate for younger audiences. This sparked debates about Hollywood's approach to action films and the balance between thrills and responsibility. Additionally, there were murmurs about the high production costs, with Terminator 2 reportedly having one of the largest budgets for its time. This raised eyebrows in the industry, with some wondering if the film would recoup its massive investment. Of course, those doubts were quickly silenced when the film shattered box office records and earned widespread acclaim. One of the stranger stories from the set involves a near accident during the famous truck chase sequence. The scene required a massive semi-truck to crash spectacularly, and during one take, the truck veered dangerously close to the stunt crew. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the incident added a palpable tension to the shoot and underscored the real risks involved in creating such high-octane action sequences. The stunt coordinator reportedly insisted on multiple safety briefings afterward, a reminder that despite all the special effects, practical stunts still demanded precise coordination and respect for danger. There's also a lesser-known but intriguing anecdote about the movie's original script, which underwent several rewrites. Early drafts envisioned a much darker tone with more graphic violence and a bleaker ending. James Cameron pushed for a more hopeful message about humanity's ability to change its destiny, which led to the incorporation of the film's iconic final scene where the Terminator sacrifices itself. This creative pivot was significant because it transformed the film from a simple action sequel into a deeply emotional story about redemption and choice. This behind-the-scenes evolution of the script is a testament to how storytelling can evolve through collaboration and vision. Even some of the movie's iconic props have their own peculiar histories. The shotgun wielded by the Terminator, for example, was a custom-modified Winchester model designed specifically for the film. Its distinctive sound became a signature audio cue, but what's odd is that the prop was so heavy and cumbersome that Schwarzenegger had to train extensively to handle it convincingly during action scenes. This level of realism in prop handling was not always standard practice at the time and contributed to the authenticity of the character's presence on screen. The film also had its share of unexpected technical glitches that became part of the lore. During one of the early screenings, the computer-generated effects sequences didn't play back correctly due to an error in the digital files. The glitch caused some distortion and flickering, which reportedly led to a frantic scramble by the post-production team to fix the problem before the next public showing. This incident highlights how pioneering the film was with technology that was still in its infancy, and how close the team came to disaster despite their groundbreaking achievements. Beyond the production itself, the impact of Terminator 2 created some unusual ripples in popular culture and technology. It inspired a wave of interest in robotics and artificial intelligence that influenced not just entertainment but also real-world scientific research. The movie's depiction of a dystopian future dominated by machines sparked discussions among experts and enthusiasts alike about the ethical implications of AI, making the film a cultural touchstone for debates that continue today. Looking back, the strangest facts about Terminator 2, Judgment Day don't just lie in odd mishaps or quirky behind-the-scenes tales. They emerge from the film's relentless ambition to marry cutting-edge technology with storytelling, pushing the boundaries of what cinema could achieve. Every challenge, from technical hurdles to casting choices, became part of a larger narrative about innovation, risk, and creative daring. It's this blend of visionary filmmaking and real-world grit that helped the movie transcend its genre and become a timeless classic, whose strange and fascinating stories continue to captivate fans and film historians alike. Terminator 2, Judgment Day is more than just a relentless action blockbuster. It's a layered narrative that uses its thrilling set pieces and groundbreaking visuals to delve into profound themes of fate, humanity, and sacrifice. When revisiting the film, certain key scenes emerge as pivotal not only for their adrenaline-pumping spectacle but also for their deep emotional and thematic significance, weaving a tapestry that resonates powerfully with audiences long after the credits roll. One such scene unfolds early on, where the T-800, the Terminator played with a compelling blend of stoicism and subtle warmth by Arnold Schwarzenegger, arrives in the present day. This moment, filled with a sense of mechanical inevitability, immediately sets the tone for the film's exploration of technology's cold logic versus human emotion. The stark, almost clinical way the Terminator navigates the world underscores the tension between man and machine, but it's the subtle hints of transformation, the slow emergence of empathy, that anchor the story emotionally. This arrival isn't just a setup for action, it's a reminder that the film's heart beats beneath the metallic exterior, hinting at a narrative that will challenge the boundaries of what it means to be human. Equally critical is the introduction of Sarah Connor, portrayed with fiery intensity by Linda Hamilton, whose transformation from vulnerable damsel in distress in the first film to a battle-hardened warrior in this sequel carries profound weight. Her scenes early in the film, particularly her time in the psychiatric hospital, are layered with raw emotion and psychological depth. The haunting sequence where she's restrained, screaming about the impending apocalypse, transcends genre expectations and confronts viewers with the cost of knowing the future and fighting to change it. This portrayal invites reflection on trauma and resilience, making Sarah not just a character in a sci-fi thriller but a symbol of maternal strength and human perseverance. The scene's claustrophobic atmosphere and Hamilton's gripping performance leave a lingering sense of urgency that permeates the entire film. The dynamic between the Terminator and John Connor forms another cornerstone of the movie's emotional core. Their evolving relationship moves from cold necessity to genuine care, a transformation that subtly interrogates the nature of identity and growth. The scene where John teaches the Terminator about human behavior, jokingly instructing it to say, "Hasta la vista, baby," is more than comic relief. It reveals the film's underlying message about learning and adaptation. This moment humanizes the cyborg in a way that challenges the audience's preconceived notions of machine versus man, making us question what defines humanity. Is it flesh and blood, or the capacity for change and connection? This relationship anchors the narrative, providing emotional stakes that complement the physical ones. As the film progresses toward its legendary chase sequences, these moments serve as more than mere spectacle. Take the intense freeway chase, for instance. While its technical execution remains awe-inspiring, the scene's true impact lies in its pacing and the emotional tension it builds. The relentless pursuit mirrors the inescapability of fate that the characters are desperate to avoid, and the physical danger reflects the emotional stakes tied to John and Sarah's survival. The chase is a visual metaphor for the larger struggle against predetermined destiny, highlighting the film's thematic obsession with free will. Each crash and near miss resonates not only as thrilling action but also as a battle against a future the characters are desperate to rewrite. One of the most poignant moments arrives toward the film's climax, where the Terminator sacrifices itself in the molten steel to destroy the T-1000 and prevent Judgment Day. This act of self-destruction is loaded with thematic complexity and emotional resonance. The Terminator's decision to shut down despite its programmed mission challenges the simplistic dichotomy of good versus evil often found in action films. It represents a poignant meditation on sacrifice, redemption, and the capacity for change, even in something built solely to kill. The scene's somber tone, underscored by the swelling score and the visuals of the molten metal consuming the machines, evokes a deep sadness intertwined with hope. This moment crystallizes the film's message, that humanity, with all its flaws and strengths, holds the power to choose its destiny. The relentless shape-shifting T-1000, portrayed with chilling precision by Robert Patrick, is another element that merits critical attention. The character embodies cold, unfeeling technology taken to its terrifying extreme, contrasting sharply with Schwarzenegger's Terminator. The T-1000's ability to morph into anyone, its liquid metal composition, and its silent, calculating menace create a formidable antagonist who's not only a physical threat but also a symbol of dehumanized future technology. The tension it generates pushes the narrative forward while provoking philosophical questions about the nature of identity and fear of the unknown. Every time it morphs, it blurs the line between human and machine, heightening the film's exploration of what it means to be truly alive. The film's use of music and sound further amplifies these emotional beats and thematic undercurrents. Brad Fiedel's iconic score, with its mechanical rhythms and haunting motifs, acts almost like a character itself, guiding the audience through moments of tension and release. The interplay between the metallic clangs, synthesized beats, and moments of silence deepens the immersive experience, underscoring the contrast between the organic and the artificial. In scenes like the final confrontation, the music crescendos, intensifying the emotional weight of the narrative climax and embedding it firmly in the viewer's memory. Critically, the film's ability to balance its high-octane action with thoughtful character development and philosophical inquiry elevates it beyond the realm of typical sequels. The action sequences never feel gratuitous. Instead, they serve the narrative and emotional arcs. For example, the skirmish in the steel mill is not only a visual spectacle but also a crucible for the characters' fates. The harsh industrial setting reinforces the theme of humanity's struggle against its own creations, and the brutality of the fight reflects the stakes at hand. This sequence's choreography, combined with its emotional intensity, keeps viewers on the edge of their seats while reinforcing the story's core questions. Another layer of critical appreciation lies in how the film addresses the concept of fate versus free will. From the opening scenes, the looming threat of Judgment Day casts a shadow over the characters' lives, yet the narrative consistently champions the possibility of change. This tension is embodied in Sarah Connor's fierce determination to alter the future and John's gradual acceptance of his role in that fight. The film's resolution, rather than presenting a neat conclusion, leaves viewers with a contemplative message about responsibility and hope. This nuanced treatment invites repeated viewings and discussions, contributing to the film's lasting impact. Finally, the emotional resonance of Terminator 2 is amplified by its exploration of family, both biological and chosen. The unconventional family unit formed by Sarah, John, and the Terminator offers a touching counterpoint to the film's dystopian themes. Their interactions convey themes of protection, trust, and growth, showing how bonds can be forged even in the most unlikely circumstances. This emotional core gives the film its heart and allows audiences to connect deeply with the story beyond its explosive action. In weaving together these critical perspectives and key scenes, Terminator 2: Judgment Day emerges as a multifaceted masterpiece. It challenges viewers to think beyond the surface thrills and engage with questions about humanity, technology, and destiny. Each carefully crafted moment contributes to a rich, immersive experience that continues to inspire analysis and admiration decades later. The film's ability to marry blockbuster spectacle with profound thematic depth ensures it remains a touchstone not only for action cinema but for storytelling at its most compelling. Terminator 2: Judgment Day stands as a landmark in filmmaking not only because of its gripping story and compelling characters but also due to the extraordinary production journey and groundbreaking technical achievements that brought it to life. From the very start, the filmmakers were determined to push the boundaries of what cinema could accomplish, both visually and narratively, and this ambitious spirit shaped every decision made on set and in post-production. James Cameron's vision for the film was clear: to create a sequel that would not only live up to but surpass the original in scope, emotion, and spectacle. This meant tackling enormous technical challenges, especially when it came to the special effects, which at the time were revolutionary. One of the biggest hurdles was bringing the T-1000 to life, a villain made entirely of liquid metal who could morph seamlessly into other shapes and characters. Achieving this required the pioneering use of CGI, computer-generated imagery, which was still in its infancy. The visual effects team, led by Industrial Light and Magic, embarked on uncharted territory, combining cutting-edge technology with creative problem-solving to develop liquid metal effects that had never been seen before on screen. The process was painstaking and involved multiple iterations. The filmmakers had to invent new software and techniques to simulate the T-1000's fluid transformations, which involved blending live-action footage with computer-generated elements in ways that had never been done before. For instance, scenes where the T-1000 changes its limbs into stabbing weapons or seamlessly takes on another person's face required the VFX team to map actors' movements with incredible precision, creating digital doubles that could morph naturally. This required a deep collaboration between animators, software engineers, and the director, as every frame needed to feel believable enough to sell the illusion. These effects were not only groundbreaking from a technological standpoint but also vital to the film's storytelling. The fluidity of the T-1000's movements, its eerie smoothness, and the unnatural ways it shifts form gave it an unsettling, otherworldly presence that amplified the tension and menace. This wasn't just eye candy, it was storytelling through technology. The ability to visually manifest a shape-shifting assassin pushed the narrative forward and deepened the stakes, raising the bar for what audiences expected from sci-fi action movies. On the practical side of production, the film also embraced traditional filmmaking techniques that added to its visceral impact. The chase scenes, especially the famous freeway sequence, were filmed with a combination of real stunts and clever camera work that captured the speed and danger authentically. For these sequences, the crew used real motorcycles, trucks, and vehicles, performing daring stunts on actual highways. The actors, including Arnold Schwarzenegger and Edward Furlong, participated in some of these scenes, bringing a tangible energy to the performances that CGI alone could not replicate. This blend of practical effects and digital innovation created a dynamic visual contrast that enhanced the film's realism and excitement. Another standout technical achievement was the use of animatronics and makeup effects, especially for the scenes involving the Terminator's damaged face and endoskeleton. The crew designed intricate prosthetics and animatronic components that allowed Schwarzenegger's character to transform before the audience's eyes, revealing the cold, mechanical underpinnings beneath the human exterior. These effects were painstakingly crafted to be both believable and terrifying, adding a tactile weight to the character's dual nature as machine and protector. The detailed craftsmanship behind these effects was a testament to the collaboration between the special makeup effects team and the director, aiming to ground the science fiction elements in a physical reality. One of the more fascinating behind-the-scenes stories involves the emotional depth James Cameron demanded from the cast, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, whose performance needed to balance robotic detachment with subtle hints of humanity. To help Arnold get into character, Cameron had him spend time with military personnel and studied machine-like movements, but he also encouraged moments of humor and warmth, which gave the Terminator an unexpected charm. This nuanced approach to performance was supported by the technical team, who ensured that the physicality of the character, from his imposing stature to his measured movements, was captured flawlessly by the cameras. The coordination between director, actor, and crew in refining these performances was a critical factor in the film's success. The film's sound design and musical score also played an integral role in its immersive quality. Composer Brad Fiedel crafted a score that merged mechanical, pulsating rhythms with emotional melodies, effectively echoing the film's themes of technology clashing with humanity. The use of synthesized sounds and repetitive motifs created an aural landscape that felt both futuristic and urgent. Sound designers meticulously layered effects like the metallic clanking of the Terminator's endoskeleton, the eerie liquid metal transformations of the T-1000, and the visceral roar of vehicles in chase scenes. These soundscapes heightened tension and gave the film an almost tactile atmosphere that pulled audiences deeper into the narrative. The scale of the production was immense, with a large crew coordinating complex sequences that involved hundreds of extras, multiple shooting locations, and an ambitious shooting schedule. From the grim interiors of the psychiatric hospital to the sprawling steel mill where the final showdown occurs, every setting was designed to reflect the gritty, industrial world that the story inhabited. The production design team painstakingly crafted these environments, often using real locations enhanced with practical set pieces to create immersive, believable spaces. The steel mill, in particular, was a visually stunning backdrop that echoed the film's themes of destruction and rebirth, and shooting in an actual industrial environment added authenticity to the climactic battle. Another technical feat that impressed audiences was the use of advanced camera techniques, including innovative tracking shots and slow-motion sequences that emphasized the intensity and emotional gravity of key moments. The slow-motion capture of gunfights or explosions wasn't just a stylistic choice but served to immerse the viewer in the chaos while allowing them to absorb the stakes. This method heightened the dramatic tension and provided a cinematic rhythm that set Terminator 2 apart from other action movies of its era. Despite these innovations, the production was not without its challenges. The complexity of the visual effects meant that post-production was a marathon, requiring months of meticulous work. The team had to constantly refine CGI sequences to maintain realism, often pushing back release dates to ensure the film met its high standards. Coordinating practical stunts with digital effects demanded exceptional timing and precision, especially when combining live-action footage with computer-generated imagery. This required a close partnership between the director, editors, and effects artists, all committed to achieving a seamless final product. In addition to technological challenges, the film's narrative ambition required careful balancing of spectacle and emotion. James Cameron's insistence on deepening character arcs and exploring themes of family and sacrifice meant that action scenes had to serve the story rather than overshadow it. This philosophy influenced editing decisions and even the way scenes were shot, often incorporating moments of quiet introspection amid the chaos. The result was a film that felt both thrilling and emotionally resonant, a rare achievement in the blockbuster genre. Overall, Terminator 2's production was a milestone in filmmaking that combined visionary storytelling with groundbreaking technical innovation. The film's creative choices, from pioneering CGI and animatronics to bold practical stunts and immersive sound design, came together in a way that redefined action cinema. Behind the scenes, countless hours of collaboration, invention, and perseverance by the cast and crew transformed what could have been just another sequel into a timeless cinematic experience that continues to inspire filmmakers and captivate audiences worldwide. This seamless blend of artistry and technology is why Terminator 2 remains a beloved classic and a touchstone for movie magic. Terminator 2: Judgment Day is much more than a thrilling sci-fi action movie packed with groundbreaking effects and pulse-pounding sequences. beneath its explosive surface lies a rich tapestry of themes and symbolism that resonate deeply with real-world issues and cultural anxieties. As the story unfolds, it invites viewers to reflect on humanity's relationship with technology, the nature of fate and free will, and the profound power of compassion and change. These themes flow organically through the characters' journeys, the film's visual language, and the tension between destruction and hope, making it an enduring work of thoughtful storytelling wrapped in blockbuster spectacle. At the heart of Terminator 2 is the theme of destiny versus free will, a philosophical question that courses through the narrative like a silent current. The film grapples with the idea of whether the future is fixed or malleable, a fate sealed by inevitability or something that can be changed by conscious choice. From the outset, the characters are caught in a web of prophecy, the apocalyptic Judgment Day predicted to bring about humanity's near extinction by sentient machines. Yet, the film makes it clear that this grim future is not set in stone. The Terminator, originally sent as a harbinger of death in the first film, has now become a protector, embodying the possibility of change and rewriting destiny. This evolution is symbolic not only within the story but also as a commentary on humanity's ability to alter its course. It reflects a hopeful message that even the darkest prophecies can be challenged through courage and collective action. This tension between fate and agency is closely tied to the film's exploration of technology's double-edged nature. Terminator 2 delves into the fears and hopes that come with rapid technological advancement, a topic that was particularly resonant in the early 1990s but remains strikingly relevant today. The film's depiction of Skynet, a self-aware artificial intelligence that triggers nuclear apocalypse, captures widespread cultural anxieties about technology running amok and the potential loss of human control. Skynet's cold logic and lack of empathy symbolize the dangers of unchecked progress, where machines designed to serve humanity could become its greatest threat. The apocalyptic vision warns against blind faith in technological determinism and raises ethical questions about the boundaries of scientific innovation. Yet, this is balanced by a more optimistic portrayal of technology through the character of the Terminator itself. Despite being a machine, the Terminator develops a rudimentary understanding of human emotions, particularly through its interactions with John Connor. This growth symbolizes the potential for technology to coexist with humanity, learning from it rather than dominating it. The Terminator's gradual adoption of human traits and its protective role flips the script on typical sci-fi fears, suggesting a nuanced view that technology's impact depends on how it is guided and controlled by human values. In this way, the film comments on the responsibility that comes with creation, urging viewers to consider not just what technology can do, but what it should do. Embedded within the narrative is also a powerful meditation on the nature of humanity itself. The film contrasts the cold, unfeeling machines with human characters who, despite their flaws and vulnerabilities, embody qualities like love, sacrifice, and growth. John Connor's journey from a rebellious, angry child to a leader capable of inspiring hope mirrors the film's larger theme of transformation. His relationship with the Terminator becomes a conduit for examining what it means to be human. Through teaching the Terminator about right and wrong, mercy and protection, John embodies the idea that humanity is defined not just by biology but by empathy and moral choice. This humanistic core grounds the film's sci-fi elements and invites the audience to reflect on the essence of identity and connection. The mother-son relationship between Sarah Connor and John adds another layer of emotional symbolism. Sarah's fierce protectiveness and her transformation from a frightened woman to a warrior dedicated to saving the future highlight themes of maternal strength and sacrifice. Her character challenges traditional gender roles, portraying a woman whose power comes from resilience and determination rather than brute force alone. This portrayal resonates with broader cultural shifts toward recognizing female agency and complexity in media narratives. Sarah's relentless fight against a seemingly inevitable apocalypse reflects the universal human struggle to protect loved ones and shape a better world despite overwhelming odds. Symbolism abounds in the film's visual motifs and narrative choices as well. The use of fire and metal imagery throughout the movie evokes destruction but also transformation. The molten steel in the final scene, where the Terminator sacrifices itself, serves as a potent symbol of cleansing and renewal. The act of casting the Terminator into the molten metal not only destroys the physical threat but metaphorically represents the hope for a fresh start free from the destructive cycle of violence and technological domination. This imagery ties back to mythological themes of death and rebirth, reinforcing the film's message that endings can give rise to new beginnings. Mirrors and reflections are another subtle but meaningful symbol threaded throughout the film. The T-1000's liquid metal form acts as a literal mirror, able to mimic and distort appearances. This shape-shifting ability raises questions about identity and deception, reminding viewers that appearances can be misleading and that true nature lies beneath the surface. The motif resonates with the film's broader exploration of what it means to be real and authentic in a world where technology can imitate life perfectly. It prompts a reflection on the masks people wear and the importance of discerning truth beyond superficial facades. Social commentary in Terminator 2 also touches on the militarization of technology and the ethical implications of artificial intelligence in warfare. The looming threat of Skynet embodies fears of autonomous weapons and the dehumanization of conflict. The film's cautionary tale warns against delegating life-and-death decisions to machines and highlights the importance of retaining human judgment in matters of war and peace. These concerns were especially relevant during the post-Cold War era when rapid advancements in technology prompted debates about the future of military power and global security. By dramatizing these issues through a compelling narrative, the film encourages audiences to critically consider the direction society is heading. Moreover, the film reflects on trauma and healing through its characters' arcs. Sarah Connor's mental struggles and institutionalization symbolize the societal tendency to marginalize those who challenge dominant narratives or foresee uncomfortable truths. Her journey from being dismissed as unstable to becoming a decisive force underscores themes of resilience and the struggle to be heard. John's growth and the Terminator's evolving understanding of humanity parallel this theme, suggesting that healing comes from connection, empathy, and confronting fears rather than succumbing to despair. The tension between humanity and technology in Terminator 2 also mirrors broader cultural dialogues about progress and its costs. The film doesn't offer easy answers but rather presents a nuanced view that progress brings both promise and peril. It underscores the necessity of ethical reflection, responsibility, and the recognition that technological advancement must be guided by human values to avoid catastrophic consequences. In this sense, the movie functions as a parable for the modern age, exploring the delicate balance between innovation and preservation. The emotional resonance of these themes is amplified by the film's carefully crafted narrative and character dynamics, making complex ideas accessible and deeply felt. Rather than overwhelming viewers with overt exposition, Terminator 2 weaves its messages into the fabric of the story, allowing audiences to discover them naturally as they become invested in the characters' fates. This subtlety ensures that the film remains engaging on multiple levels, exciting and action-packed on the surface, while rich with philosophical and cultural meaning beneath. In conclusion, Terminator 2: Judgment Day uses its thrilling narrative and cutting-edge visuals to explore profound themes of destiny, free will, humanity, and the ethical implications of technology. Its symbolism, from molten metal to liquid mirrors, invites deeper reflection on identity transformation and the duality of creation and destruction. Through the struggles and growth of characters like Sarah John and the Terminator itself, the film addresses societal fears about technological advancement and highlights the enduring power of empathy and choice. This seamless integration of thematic depth with blockbuster storytelling is a key reason why the movie continues to captivate audiences and provoke thoughtful conversation decades after its release. Terminator 2: Judgment Day stands as a landmark not only for its riveting story and memorable characters but also for its groundbreaking cinematic techniques and distinct visual language that together craft an unforgettable sensory experience. From the moment the film opens, viewers are plunged into a world where sound, visuals, and editing collaborate seamlessly to elevate the narrative beyond mere action spectacle into something immersive and emotionally resonant. Every choice made behind the camera reflects director James Cameron's visionary approach, where technical mastery serves storytelling with precision and flair. The sound design in Terminator 2 is a crucial element that heightens tension and shapes the atmosphere throughout the film. Unlike many action movies that rely solely on bombastic explosions and loud effects, this film uses sound with remarkable subtlety and intelligence. The low mechanical hums of the Terminator's internal workings, the unsettling metallic shifting of the T-1000's liquid metal form, and the ominous, almost heartbeat-like ticking that punctuates key moments all contribute to a palpable sense of menace and urgency. These auditory cues act as invisible threads weaving suspense into every scene, alerting the audience that danger is never far away. The silence at strategic points becomes just as powerful, allowing viewers to anticipate what's coming next and creating a rhythm that's as much about what's not heard as what is. Complementing this intricate soundscape is the iconic musical score composed by Brad Fiedel, whose electronic yet haunting melodies have become synonymous with the Terminator franchise. The main theme is both mechanical and emotional, perfectly capturing the dual nature of the film's central characters, machines with human qualities and humans confronting cold, relentless technology. The pulsating synth beats mirror the relentless march of fate while also underscoring moments of empathy and vulnerability. What makes the score particularly effective is how it adapts to the narrative flow. In intense chase sequences, the tempo accelerates, creating a heartbeat-pounding experience. In quieter, more introspective scenes, the music softens, inviting reflection. This dynamic interplay between sound and story exemplifies how music becomes a character in its own right, guiding the audience's emotional journey without overpowering the visuals. Visually, Terminator 2 broke new ground with its pioneering use of computer-generated imagery, CGI, especially in bringing the T-1000 to life. The liquid metal effects were revolutionary at the time and remain impressive decades later. The seamless transitions between the T-1000's human form and its morphing metallic body astonish not just because of technical achievement but also because they serve the storytelling perfectly. The fluidity of the T-1000's shape-shifting abilities symbolizes its otherworldly and unstoppable nature, making it an eerie and compelling antagonist. The contrast between the cold, gleaming metal and the organic world around it creates a visual tension that constantly reminds viewers of the blurring lines between man and machine. Cameron's insistence on blending practical effects with CGI ensured that even amidst digital wizardry, the film maintained a tactile, believable quality, enhancing immersion. Cameron's camera work plays a crucial role in immersing the audience and conveying character perspectives. The film frequently employs dynamic tracking shots that follow the frenetic energy of car chases or hand-to-hand combat, throwing viewers into the heart of the action. These fluid movements create an immediacy and urgency that heighten suspense, as if the audience is sprinting alongside the characters. At the same time, moments of stillness and tight close-ups ground the story emotionally, revealing the characters' internal struggles and vulnerabilities. For example, the intimate shots of John Connor interacting with the Terminator allow us to witness the gradual bond forming between them, conveyed through subtle facial expressions and gestures. This balance between kinetic action and quiet intimacy defines the film's visual rhythm, ensuring the narrative never loses its emotional core amid the spectacle. Editing is another vital ingredient that shapes Terminator 2's compelling narrative flow. The pacing of the film is expertly calibrated to maintain tension while providing necessary breathing room for character development. Quick cuts during chase sequences accelerate the tempo, immersing viewers in high-stakes danger, while longer takes during emotional moments offer respite and reflection. Notably, the editing cleverly uses cross-cutting to build suspense, such as simultaneously showing the T-1000's relentless pursuit while John and Sarah Connor plan their next moves, creating a sense of impending collision. This technique keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, fully aware of the stakes and anticipating the climax. The editor's skill in balancing fast-paced sequences with slower, character-driven scenes allows the story to unfold naturally, maintaining engagement without exhausting the audience. The film's use of lighting also contributes to its distinctive visual style and thematic depth. Stark contrasts between light and shadow reflect the underlying conflict between good and evil, humanity and machine. Nighttime scenes often bathe the environment in cold blues and harsh whites, evoking a clinical, dystopian feel that amplifies the sense of menace. Conversely, scenes of warmth and safety, such as the moments between John and the Terminator, are suffused with softer, more natural light, emphasizing hope and connection. This deliberate manipulation of light and color not only enhances mood but subtly reinforces the film's exploration of dualities, weaving symbolism directly into the visual fabric. The production design deserves mention for its authenticity and practicality, grounding the futuristic story in a believable reality. The industrial and utilitarian aesthetics of settings like the Cyberdyne Systems headquarters evoke a sense of impending doom while remaining rooted in the contemporary world. This design choice enhances the plausibility of the apocalyptic future looming over the characters, making the stakes feel immediate rather than abstract. Cameron's attention to detail in crafting environments that feel lived in and functional enriches the storytelling by providing context and texture that inform character motivations and plot developments. One of the most striking stylistic choices in Terminator 2 is its blend of gritty realism with sci-fi spectacle, a juxtaposition that creates a visceral viewing experience. Rather than leaning fully into futuristic fantasy, the film anchors its advanced concepts in tangible human emotions and practical effects. This approach makes the extraordinary events feel urgent and believable, pulling audiences deeper into the story. For instance, the use of real stunts and practical explosions alongside CGI effects creates a layered sensory experience that feels both spectacular and grounded. The seamless integration of these elements demonstrates Cameron's mastery in balancing spectacle with substance, ensuring that technological marvels serve the story instead of overshadowing it. Furthermore, the film's choreography and staging of action sequences stand out for their clarity and impact. Rather than overwhelming viewers with rapid-fire cuts and frenetic editing common in many action films, Terminator 2 favors well-composed shots that maintain spatial awareness. This clarity allows the audience to follow the physicality and stakes of every fight or chase, heightening tension without sacrificing comprehension. The iconic motorcycle chase scenes exemplify this with their thrilling pacing and fluid camera movements that put viewers right in the driver's seat. These sequences become cinematic set pieces that are as narratively significant as they are visually impressive. The film also employs inventive visual metaphors, such as the repeated use of reflections and mirrored surfaces, which subtly underscore its themes of identity and transformation. The T-1000's liquid metal form acts as a living mirror, distorting and mimicking those around it, symbolizing the elusiveness of truth and the fragility of human identity in a technological world. This motif is woven into the cinematography through careful framing and lighting, reinforcing the narrative's psychological undercurrents without resorting to exposition. Sound effects, music, camera work, lighting, editing, and production design converge in Terminator 2 to create a cohesive cinematic language that serves both spectacle and story with equal passion. James Cameron's visionary direction guides these elements with a steady hand, ensuring that every technical choice enhances the emotional and thematic weight of the film. This careful orchestration transforms Terminator 2 from a simple action movie into a richly layered sensory journey that continues to captivate audiences decades after its release. In the end, Terminator 2's cinematic techniques and visual language do more than dazzle. They invite viewers into an immersive world where technology and humanity collide in thrilling and thought-provoking ways. The film's soundscape heightens suspense and emotional connection, the visuals push boundaries while grounding the story, and the editing maintains a perfect narrative rhythm. Together, these elements reflect a director's uncompromising vision and a team's technical brilliance that, even today, set a benchmark for what cinema can achieve when artistry meets innovation. Terminator 2: Judgment Day is not just celebrated for its groundbreaking visuals or thrilling plot. A huge part of its enduring magic comes from the undeniable chemistry among its cast, which breathes life into every scene and deepens the emotional stakes. From the very beginning, the dynamic between Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and Edward Furlong as John Connor forms the beating heart of the film. It's a rare mix of tension, warmth, and complexity that makes their relationships feel authentic and compelling. The actors didn't just deliver performances, they created a believable family forged in the crucible of apocalypse, and this connection shines through in every interaction. Arnold Schwarzenegger, returning as the Terminator, stepped into a role that demanded more nuance than in the first film. Instead of a ruthless killing machine, here he became a protector, an almost paternal figure to young John. The subtle shifts in his portrayal, minimal dialogue but profound expressions, made the Terminator's evolution believable. Edward Furlong, then a newcomer, brought a natural charm and vulnerability to John Connor, making him more than just a typical action movie kid. Their scenes together crackle with an unexpected tenderness that contrasts perfectly with the film's intense action sequences. The way Schwarzenegger's robotic stoicism softens when interacting with Furlong's rebellious but hopeful John adds emotional depth that hooks viewers. Linda Hamilton's transformation into Sarah Connor is equally captivating. She embodies fierce determination and raw vulnerability, a woman hardened by trauma yet fiercely protective of her son. Her chemistry with both Schwarzenegger and Furlong grounds the story emotionally, balancing moments of tension with poignant humanity. Behind the scenes, the camaraderie among the principal cast was surprisingly strong despite the high-pressure environment of a blockbuster shoot. Interviews with the cast reveal that Arnold, Linda, and Edward formed a close-knit group, supporting one another through the physically demanding schedule. Arnold's experience and easygoing nature helped set a tone of professionalism mixed with light-heartedness. Linda Hamilton's dedication to the role, including intense physical training and adopting a tough, no-nonsense persona, earned the respect of the entire crew and cast. Edward Furlong, navigating his first major film role, often spoke about how Arnold acted as a mentor, guiding him through long days on set and helping him manage the pressures of sudden fame. This behind-the-scenes bond translated to their on-screen relationships, adding authenticity that audiences felt instinctively. Director James Cameron fostered an environment that encouraged collaboration and experimentation, understanding that chemistry couldn't be forced. His vision was clear but flexible, allowing actors to bring their own interpretations to the characters. In interviews, Cameron has shared anecdotes about moments when scenes evolved organically because of the cast's interactions, highlighting the fluidity and life they brought to the film. For instance, many of the Terminator's subtle gestures and timing were Arnold's own additions, making the character more relatable without losing his mechanical essence. Similarly, the playful banter between John and the Terminator during their training scenes was partly improvised, revealing a genuine rapport that lightened the mood without detracting from the story's urgency. The film's supporting cast also contributed richly to the texture and depth of the story. Robert Patrick's chilling portrayal of the T-1000 antagonist introduced a new kind of menace, cold, fluid, and relentless. His intense preparation and physicality created an imposing foil to Schwarzenegger's Terminator, and their on-screen duels crackled with tension and contrast. Patrick's professionalism and ability to embody a nearly unstoppable force elevated the stakes dramatically. Meanwhile, Joe Morton as Dr. Miles Dyson brought a crucial emotional core to the story with his moral struggle over the creation of Skynet. The supporting actors' commitment to their roles, combined with their chemistry with the leads, ensured that every scene felt vital to the story's momentum and themes. Audience reactions to Terminator 2 have been a fascinating journey over time, reflecting how deeply the film resonated beyond its initial blockbuster status. Upon release in 1991, the movie was met with critical acclaim and commercial success, with many praising the cast performances as a key factor. Viewers appreciated how the characters transcended typical action stereotypes, finding real emotion and depth amidst the spectacular effects. The relationships among the leads were often highlighted in reviews, with many calling the father-son dynamic between the Terminator and John Connor one of the most compelling aspects. Fans of the original film welcomed the evolution of the characters, noting how the sequel expanded the emotional and thematic range without sacrificing excitement. Over the years, the film's legacy has only grown stronger, with new generations discovering the chemistry that made it so special. Fan forums and retrospectives frequently celebrate the cast performances as a foundational element that helped elevate the genre. The enduring popularity of catchphrases like "I'll be back" speaks not only to Arnold's charisma but to the warmth and subtle humor the cast brought to their roles. The film's ability to blend intense action with genuine character moments has kept audiences engaged long after the credits roll, inspiring countless homages and references in pop culture. Behind the scenes, cast interviews and documentaries have further enriched fans' understanding of the film's dynamics. Stories about the challenges of working with early CGI effects, grueling stunt work, and long hours in makeup all highlight the cast's dedication. For example, Linda Hamilton's rigorous fitness regimen and fight training were both a personal transformation and a narrative necessity, enabling her to convincingly portray a tough survivor. Arnold's willingness to embrace humor and warmth softened his traditionally larger-than-life persona, showing a more human side that audiences connected with. Edward Furlong's youth and energy brought a fresh perspective that balanced the film's darker tones, making the Connor family feel real and relatable. The chemistry wasn't limited to the leads. The interactions among the entire cast and crew created a collaborative atmosphere that translated on screen. From stunt coordinators to visual effects artists, everyone worked in sync to realize Cameron's vision. The respect and rapport between departments ensured that scenes flowed naturally, with actors supported by cutting-edge technology and meticulous planning. This synergy between human performance and technical innovation was crucial in making the film a milestone in cinema history. Audience reactions also evolved as the film became a cultural touchstone. It sparked conversations about the future of technology, humanity's relationship with machines, and ethical questions about artificial intelligence. The cast's performances helped make these complex themes accessible and emotionally resonant. Fans found themselves invested not just in thrilling action but in the fate of characters they cared about deeply. The emotional stakes raised by the actors' portrayals created a lasting bond between the film and its audience, one that persists decades later. In the end, the chemistry between the cast members of Terminator 2, Judgment Day formed the soul of the movie, transforming it from a simple sci-fi action flick into a story about family, survival, and hope against overwhelming odds. Behind the scenes, the camaraderie and mutual respect among the actors and crew enriched the creative process, allowing authentic moments to flourish naturally. This blend of talent, collaboration, and dedication resonated powerfully with audiences around the world, securing the film's place as a beloved classic that continues to inspire and captivate. The legacy of these relationships reminds us that no matter how advanced the technology or spectacular the effects, it is the human connections at the core of storytelling that truly leave a lasting impact. Terminator 2, Judgment Day arrived in theaters on July 3, 1991, and almost immediately it began to reshape the landscape of cinema and popular culture in ways that would ripple far beyond its explosive opening weekend. It wasn't just another summer blockbuster, it was a seismic event that redefined what an action movie could be, elevated the expectations for special effects, and carved a permanent place in the cultural imagination. The film's influence is woven deeply into the fabric of modern filmmaking and popular culture, making it a benchmark that continues to inspire creators and captivate audiences around the world. At its core, Terminator 2 redefined the sci-fi action genre by marrying groundbreaking technological innovation with emotionally resonant storytelling. James Cameron's vision was not merely to thrill audiences with relentless action sequences and stunning visuals, but to explore deeper themes about humanity, destiny, and the potential consequences of technological advancement. This balance was a game-changer. Before T2, action films often prioritized spectacle over character depth, but this movie proved that the two could coexist beautifully, setting a new standard for blockbuster filmmaking. It's no surprise that many modern action and sci-fi films trace their lineage back to this seminal work, borrowing not just its style but also its approach to character-driven storytelling amidst chaos. One of the most profound influences Terminator 2 had was on the use of visual effects. The movie introduced audiences to a level of computer-generated imagery, CGI, that had never been seen before, particularly through the shape-shifting T-1000 played by Robert Patrick. The liquid metal effect was revolutionary and set a precedent for CGI's role in storytelling. This leap forward opened doors for future filmmakers to imagine entire worlds and characters beyond practical effects limitations. The meticulous blend of practical effects and digital animation showed how technology could enhance realism rather than detract from it. The film's success helped accelerate the development and acceptance of CGI in Hollywood, directly influencing iconic franchises like Jurassic Park, The Matrix, and countless others that followed in its wake. Beyond the technical achievements, the movie's legacy is also strongly tied to its memorable characters and performances, which continue to resonate decades later. Arnold Schwarzenegger's transformation from cold assassin in the original Terminator to a protective father figure in T2 added layers of complexity that audiences embraced wholeheartedly. His now iconic line, "I'll be back," delivered with a blend of menace and warmth, has become part of the cultural lexicon. Linda Hamilton's portrayal of Sarah Connor evolved into one of the most powerful female roles in action cinema, inspiring a generation of strong female leads who defy stereotypes. Edward Furlong's John Connor brought a relatable youthful vulnerability to the story, grounding the high-concept narrative in personal stakes. The character's enduring appeal has led to endless references in television, video games, comic books, and even advertising, cementing their place in pop culture's collective memory. The film's impact is also evident in how it influenced storytelling conventions. Terminator 2 introduced the idea that sequels could not only match but exceed the original's quality, challenging the prevailing skepticism toward follow-ups in Hollywood. It proved that a sequel could deepen character arcs, raise thematic stakes, and deliver breathtaking spectacles without sacrificing heart. This raised the bar for franchise filmmaking, pushing studios to invest more care and creativity into sequels and series. The movie's layered narrative about fate, free will, and the moral dilemmas surrounding artificial intelligence continues to inspire thoughtful science fiction that transcends mere entertainment to provoke real-world conversations. On the awards front, Terminator 2's achievements were recognized with multiple accolades that underscore its significance in film history. It won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Makeup, a testament to the extraordinary craftsmanship behind the scenes. These honors were groundbreaking at the time for a genre film, highlighting how Terminator 2 elevated technical and artistic standards. Additionally, it garnered numerous other industry awards and nominations that acknowledged its comprehensive excellence, from its effects to its editing and direction. These milestones helped legitimize action and science fiction genres within the traditionally prestige-oriented awards landscape, paving the way for future genre blockbusters to be taken seriously by critics and institutions alike. Audience reception and cultural penetration tell a story of a movie that transcended its medium to become a shared experience for millions. It was a box office juggernaut, becoming the highest-grossing film of 1991 worldwide and breaking records that stood for years. Its success demonstrated the global appeal of intelligent, well-crafted genre films and opened international markets to Hollywood blockbusters with sophisticated storytelling. Beyond numbers, the movie's cultural impact was evident in the way it shaped fashion, catchphrases, and even philosophical discussions around technology and ethics. Fans still celebrate Terminator 2 with screenings, fan art, conventions, and endless online discussions that keep its spirit alive. Its characters and themes have been woven into the tapestry of late 20th century cultural identity, influencing everything from music videos to political rhetoric about technology's promises and perils. Moreover, Terminator 2's influence can be traced through the evolution of cinematic technology and genre storytelling in the decades that followed. It demonstrated that audiences would embrace complex narratives about technology's double-edged sword, influencing filmmakers who tackle artificial intelligence, robotics, and dystopian futures. The movie's aesthetic, its blend of gritty realism with futuristic fantasy, became a visual language echoed in numerous films, TV shows, and video games. Its success also helped solidify James Cameron's reputation as one of the most visionary directors of his generation, inspiring many to push creative boundaries fearlessly. Cameron's blend of spectacle and substance, as exemplified in T2, remains a blueprint for blockbuster filmmaking. The film also left a lasting imprint on the portrayal of female characters in action films. Sarah Connor's evolution from a terrified waitress in the first Terminator to a hardened warrior and protective mother in T2 was groundbreaking. This shift challenged traditional gender roles and opened doors for more nuanced and empowered female protagonists in a genre that had long been male-dominated. Linda Hamilton's physical transformation and fierce performance became a symbol of strength and resilience that resonates in contemporary cinema and beyond, influencing how women are written and portrayed in action roles. Even the broader themes of Terminator 2 have maintained cultural relevance. Its exploration of humanity's relationship with technology, the consequences of unchecked progress, and the question of fate versus free will continue to resonate in today's rapidly advancing technological landscape. The movie's prescient warnings about artificial intelligence have become a touchstone in debates about ethics and the future of human-machine interaction. This timeless quality allows the film to remain fresh and thought-provoking, engaging new audiences and sparking renewed discussions with each generation. In retrospect, Terminator 2: Judgment Day stands as a landmark achievement in cinematic history, a film that transcended the limitations of its genre to become a cultural phenomenon. Its blend of groundbreaking special effects, memorable performances, emotionally rich storytelling, and profound themes set a new standard for what cinema could achieve. The movie's legacy is not just in its box office records or awards, but in how it reshaped Hollywood's approach to technology, storytelling, and character development. It carved a path for future filmmakers to dream bigger and bolder while reminding audiences of the enduring power of human connection even in a world increasingly shaped by machines. From the visceral thrill of its action sequences to the poignant humanity at its core, Terminator 2 continues to captivate and inspire. Its influence can be seen everywhere, in the rise of CGI, the evolution of sequels, the portrayal of strong female characters, and the way filmmakers approach genre storytelling with depth and care. It remains a touchstone for both creators and fans, a cinematic triumph whose impact endures as powerfully today as it did on its groundbreaking release day. Ultimately, the film's legacy is a testament to the transformative power of storytelling and technology working in harmony to create art that is thrilling, meaningful, and unforgettable. Terminator 2: Judgment Day is more than just a sequel. It is a landmark in cinematic history that expertly combines thrilling action, emotional depth, groundbreaking visual effects, and thought-provoking themes into a cohesive masterpiece. From the moment it premiered on July 3, 1991, it set new standards for what a blockbuster could achieve, blending heart-pounding sequences with profound questions about humanity, technology, and destiny. The movie's innovative use of CGI to bring the shape-shifting T-1000 to life remains a milestone in special effects, influencing countless films that followed. At the same time, its compelling characters, especially the transformation of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator from ruthless assassin to protector and Linda Hamilton's fierce, determined Sarah Connor, give the story its emotional core, making it resonate beyond mere spectacle. What truly sets Terminator 2 apart is its ability to weave action and suspense with deeper narrative layers. It challenges viewers to think about the implications of artificial intelligence and fate while delivering some of the most iconic and memorable moments in film history. The movie balances high-stakes tension with human vulnerability, showcasing not just the battle for survival but the fight to protect what makes us human: hope, love, and the capacity to change. This duality gives the film a timeless quality, allowing it to remain relevant and engaging decades after its release. The masterful direction by James Cameron brings all these elements together with precision and vision. His commitment to pushing the boundaries of technology and storytelling created an immersive world that feels both terrifyingly real and breathtakingly futuristic. The seamless integration of practical effects, stunts, and CGI crafts a cinematic experience that continues to awe audiences, making Terminator 2 a benchmark for filmmakers worldwide. Its influence is visible in countless films and media that explore the intersection of humanity and technology, proving that great storytelling transcends genres. Equally important are the performances that breathe life into these characters. Arnold Schwarzenegger's evolution as the Terminator adds complexity and warmth, transforming a once one-dimensional villain into a beloved hero. Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor stands as one of the most empowering female figures in cinema, embodying strength, resilience, and fierce maternal protection. Edward Furlong's portrayal of John Connor adds the innocence and vulnerability that ground the film's epic narrative in relatable human emotion. These performances ensure that the movie is not just a visual spectacle but a deeply affecting story about family, sacrifice, and hope. Throughout the film, the themes of fate versus free will, the dangers and promises of technology, and the importance of human connection are woven with subtlety and power. The story doesn't just entertain, it invites reflection on real-world issues that remain highly relevant today. The symbolic elements, the protective embrace of the Terminator, the ominous countdown to Judgment Day, and the relentless pursuit by the T-1000, resonate as metaphors for the ongoing struggle between control and chaos, progress and destruction. This thematic richness adds layers of meaning that reward repeated viewings and deep analysis. As we look back at Terminator 2, it's clear why it has endured as a cultural touchstone. It revolutionized visual effects, set a new standard for sequels, and created characters and moments that have become iconic. It's a film that manages to be both a thrilling action epic and a profound meditation on humanity's future. Its legacy is evident in the countless films it has inspired and the passionate fan base that continues to celebrate it. The movie's impact goes beyond the screen, influencing how stories are told and what audiences expect from blockbuster cinema. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into Terminator 2, Judgment Day, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps us out. Share it with your fellow movie lovers so they can join the conversation, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We have plenty more incredible film explorations and hidden stories waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more adventures into the world of cinema where every frame has a story to tell.